Let's check it out.
Cool. Muted.
Go back to my.
Once you go live, I'll start watching your YouTube.
Oh, I forgot to send out the tweet. Oops. I can't go back to that screen now.
Okay.
That's fine.
I can do it real quick and put it on the social media.
If you could, Senor. I am already zoomed in. Get comfortable. Yeah, did anybody else want to join in, or did I just? What was that?
I have no idea.
Me. Whatever.
Question is, how do I take a good picture of this?
No, but
Of us.
Windows
Yeah.
S and Shift,
Windows S and Shift.
and then drag it across whatever you want to screenshot.
Oh, I can just do snip tool. What should I just? No, I'm basically saving the picture.
Oh, then you put it into Paint and then you save it.
New one.
And then with Paint, you go open it again and you crop out the white box. Oh, okay, you're trying to take a picture and fuck me over like I fucked you over.
Okay. Ready? Say cheese. All right.
I honestly don't.
Save
Gotta
uh
watch that later.
review Shang-Chi. Twitter. No, not Twitch, Twitter.
Oh shit! Yeah, forgot to pull it up. And it looks like it's up.
You live on the YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, I've been for a minute now.
Oh, okay. Let me start recording stuff then.
For a minute, yeah. It doesn't tell me how long. Here.
We're live
Well,
on YouTube. Let me get the
oh,
notification.
about 3 minutes.
Let's see.
Damn, I should add some water.
Why isn't it telling me? Neon Moon broadcast. Oh, it's Neon Moon. Okay, I see the live. I am watching it now.
Watch.
Two.
That's hot.
Did you upload anything on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I can share it on Facebook real quick. I'll do a story. I'll do a story. Whoopsies, that's on my story. Should I tag everybody or just keep it because not everybody watched the movie.
True. I fucking clapped myself.
Hi everybody, we are reviewing Shanghai. Well, that's what I called it incorrectly, but it's actually Shang-Chi. I'm bad at
Shang-Chi.
this. Shang-Chi. Okay, well, you get the idea. We're reviewing it. Come watch. We'll be doing spoiler free and then spoiler fully after that.
After 3 minutes of a spoiler-free discussion, we will be hopping into a spoiler chat.
I'm gonna put the caption first take. Also,
Wait a
come
minute.
watch. Oh, I almost spelled watch wrong.
I will follow you right down wherever you would.
So I'll tag you and me.
Well, Imagine Dragons released an album today too. That's
Yeah,
what I was doing earlier. I was just
and
having a little listening party to myself.
Drake also reviewed his released his.
Hasn't that been out for a while?
No, it just came out today.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just came out today, boy.
I've seen people
She.
fucking snapping that for a minute.
Yeah, a minute, literally, because it's been a minute since it's been
No, like
released.
it's been a few days. People have been showing those fucking emojis of all the pregnant women.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that I don't know.
Unless it was like some of the songs that came out early or something.
Podcast season. Hashtag verga.
What? Oh, I should have invited Carlos.
To
I
join it. Did you watch the movie already?
don't think so. I'll send them a message.
Okay.
Where are you?
Okay, I had to master anyway, so I'm just ready to get back into it now.
Yeah, it's been about 6 minutes and we haven't even touched surface.
Good. I can stop the recording and start over. You can't stop your live. Let me know when you're good.
Oh yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna start recording. Julio.
Start recording, bro. I've been live for 6.5
Yeah, well,
minutes.
the, hi everybody. It's me and Julio with NeonMoonPodcast. We are reviewing uh, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We saw it last night.
10 bracelets.
Okay. Well, we've review's over. We didn't like it. That's it, guys. No, but we watched it the night that came out, so yeah, I guess it's a pretty cool flex of us. We do have connections to get into theaters early and
We
watch the movie
didn't
right before it gets
use the
officially
Fandango app.
released. Yeah,
What?
we used our pandemic connections. We used the advantage
This
of the.
motherfucker.
I don't know what I'm saying, but we're just gonna jump right into it. Julio, we're gonna go first. We're gonna do non-spoiler. It'll be spoiler free, and then we'll probably
Attempt.
put like a
An
little.
attempt.
Yes, and then I'll probably put a little annotation or something, a little header, a picture that says spoilers now, or we'll just change the title of the um, YouTube name and whatnot.
Oh,
So
I forgot what I put for
that'll
the description.
there will be something. There will be something. But for now, let's kind of just talk about the our initial um, reactions to it without talking about the movie too much.
Oof, that sounds very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I guess my first question is, Julio, what did you think about the movie? I'm very curious on what your thoughts were.
Watching Shang-Chi,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of fits in that perfectly into what people don't like about Marvel. I've had knowing a few DC fans, but that's kind of what I like about Marvel, and I'll go more into that. That's obviously not even a spoiler, but like as you saw some of those fucking fight scenes, I'm not even gonna go into that yet because how incredible they were. They all had their little moment with the serious nature of the fight, and then here's a comedic relief. Let's stop and laugh at that, and then go back into the fight. That's what like Marvel's known about, and that's what some people don't like about. Again, me personally, that's what I love about it. It's just that all around movie that I don't know. You can sit down, watch, and enjoy on different emotional spectrums. But I don't know. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Well, before we go deep into it, let's get a on a scale of I guess 1 to 10, or and then if it's your favorite, how much of it is your favorite Marvel movie and what's not your favorite Marvel movie. That way people have an idea of what your base plate is. Is that what people is that the word I'm looking for? You know when they're like, oh, this is his taste. This is his bar. What's the bar for you? What's your favorite Marvel movie? And then what's your least favorite Marvel movie? And then where
Mm,
does this rank in between all of them?
damn, that's fuck. I should have thought about
Yeah.
this
Look at
because for
me.
sure,
I'm a fucking professional.
for sure, the my favorite one is for sure Endgame. For sure,
And yeah, that was
just like Infinity War, Endgame were just like nah. Like, I can't compare it. But fuck, if I had to say one that I did not enjoy watching, It would probably be the first Thor,
Okay.
the when he was introduced. I was not a fan of that one. Thought it was quite boring. But if I had a along that spectrum of Marvel films, I think this one would have to be pretty high up there. It wasn't like along the likes of like okay, of like a solo movie introduction, something along the likes of Black Panther. I don't think it was that, but for sure it was better than Thor's introduction. That's pretty high up there.
That's pretty good. My favorite movie would be. I think my favorite one is. I don't. I want to say. I think my favorite one is shit. I think I'm gonna go with Infinity War. It's really tough. It's really tough. If there's any solo, like any hero ones I like the most, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is up there for me. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
like the first one. My least ones are the Thor series. Just even the like because you mentioned it earlier, like there's a lot of comic relief, and I thought the Thor movies were trying to be a little more like Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was like, but I mean it's still good. So I agree with you with that. The Thor movie for sure. Another, I guess if I wanted to have a different answer, I think my least favorite would be Iron Man 3. If it wasn't for the if Thor movies didn't exist, it'd be Iron Man 3. Because but we'll talk a little bit more about that going forward. But
yeah.
that
Hey
has
man,
changed. That has changed for me a little bit. Not like it's gotten better. It's still one of the least favorite ones, but it's gotten better up in the scale. And for me, on a 1 to 10, this movie was I would say a solid 8.1. Like I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good overall. And
yeah,
then
I
I'm
was about to
hopefully.
say 8.3.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah.
so like I think we're just gonna reinforce our because we're gonna do an end of the a recap, a summary of how our like this is basically what they people do in school where they do an evaluation test and then what have you learned after you're in school and you take a real test and see what you graded afterwards. So I think we should be giving it a higher grade after this after we talk. But I'll try to be as critical as possible too. And then I want to look at reviews to see where like, ooh, that did ruin the movie for me. Ooh, that made it better for me, and see where we go from there. So yeah, that should be a good start right there, I think.
I was
Um,
getting some messages saying that my audio bitrate was lower than recommended. Yeah. What?
mm, well,
Okay.
I've got my stuff still recording, so if anything happens there, we can delete it and re-upload here.
Oh, it should be
So
fine. It's just saying that it's lower than recommended, but I don't ever remember changing it. Depression.
touche, touche.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's see, where do we start?
So
Damn.
I'll probably start with this. Like me personally, I dove kind of deep into comics and the whole comic realm, the whole idea of like where you could kind of find out where a character comes from and all that. And I'll be honest, Shang-Chi is not one of those characters that I dove into. So his whole background, his whole nature, even in through the comics, is obscure to me. Like I have no idea who this guy was. The only thing I knew coming into watching this movie was through the comics. He was the one that taught Spider-Man. He crew out him and Spider-Man created a new kind of kung fu, which is called Spider Fu or something like that. But Spider-Man created it with him. So that's like the only thing I knew about him. I wish I would have done more research to be more familiar because I like kind of diving into that so I can kind of see like if the movie stayed true to the character or whatnot. But yeah, this is one for sure that was just like I just fuck it, let me go watch it.
And in my perspective, this is good why we have you here with us, Julio.
But
Because in my perspective, I am just a normal moviegoer. I don't really dive too much into it, but I do enjoy it a lot, and I do nerd out and geek out. Like I follow the lore. I try to watch some YouTube videos, but I don't go too much into the comics and all that stuff. I try to be like, "Ooh, did you guys notice that little connection there?" Like a regular moviegoer would be doing. So that's my how I see it. One thing I want to note as well, since knowing that, what else? What were your thoughts coming into this movie? Like, what did you think it was gonna be like? I feel like it. for both of us, it kind of hit better than we expected.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, well, again, not knowing the lore at all behind Shang-Chi, I would have loved to have known what those rings are. Just because you've seen the symbols when you watched Iron Man, those symbols have existed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they just never alluded to what those meant. This movie, you completely find out what they are. Not exactly what the rings are, but the meaning behind it you find. Well, I don't want to dive into that, but again, yeah. So that's what I was hoping for. Again, not to go into spoilers just yet. I'll leave that to later.
Yeah. For me, I actually was like a little worried the movie was gonna be a flop. The trailers do it no do not help the movie out at all. Like,
Really?
but I mean, I don't think the trailers do that much of a good job to make people want to watch this movie. I really do. I think it kind of sets the bar really low. So it's like which I mean, because I was trying to I looked at some I when I look at trailers I see like where's it trying to be corny and too funny and I feel like sometimes it tries too hard with some jokes and whatnot. Like that's why I look in trailers. And then I also look at to see if there's anything like how important will this character be, or how important, or what who the villain is. That's what I try to catch. And the movie did throw me off with the characters that they had and the roles that those characters play and whatnot. But I didn't have I expected it to be a flop because it has high expectations because this is basically, after a pandemic, this is phase what 3, 4? What phase
Yeah, I
is
believe
this?
Phase 4. And
And it's after
I forgot.
Endgame. This is basically I mean, Black people would say Black Widow would be for it. I think Black Widow is like a prequel movie to Phase 4, like a
It is.
like a little like filler basically, and it like to set up other characters. But I think for the bar has to set because we've already have established heroes, and in this universe, I'm like, oof, this guy's got to bring something to the table, and
Oh
I
yeah.
I really think he does.
I hope. I hope he does. Honestly, I really enjoyed his character. I enjoyed his sister in the movie, but again, just how they ended it, that could possibly lead anywhere. Kind of hoping it doesn't go the way it alluded to, but God, I was excited for the character again, not knowing where he came from and all that, just to see what he was about, and I think they did a pretty good job at that. Again, keeping the whole Marvel, keeping that Marvel touch alive.
Yeah, and I think once I saw what it was, what he could do, basically I was like, oh, I think he's very balanced with all the other heroes. I think no one's overpowered and
Oh, there's a several overpowered.
well, several overpowered, but he's not like I think he fits right in like a glove.
I think
Down.
he would have fit in with the original Avengers, but
Oh, yeah,
obviously we're gonna have to. Those numbers have been chopped,
yeah.
as we've seen.
I
But
think we should probably talk about the little to transition into this new film, the stuff that they kind of mentioned from the previous film.
what do you mean?
Like, so there are people in this movie that have been in previous movies. I think we should probably like mention that, like how they kind of introduced this movie into the universe and stuff like that. Because you did say it yourself, the Ten Rings, which I thought that was really cool. I'm like, oh, I was like, when you see the trailers, that's one thing that they did good is that they mentioned the Ten Rings, and it's like, oh, this guy, that's what the Ten Rings are, and then it kind of links it into the universe and whatnot.
Yeah, like they show that cut from the first Iron Man movie where he's being held hostage, and behind him there's a flag with the 10 rings on. He's like, it's been there the whole time.
Yeah,
And this movie, you'll find out exactly what they mean.
yeah, and then, I mean, and they didn't show that in the movie
I had no
that
idea.
that cut. I was waiting to see that cut. I'm like, how are they gonna show that cut in here
Yeah,
and whatnot? But they ain't show anything like that. Uh, so I think we can talk a little bit more about the beginning of the movie and how it starts, and then we can move a little forward without beginning to end without spoiling anything at all. and how we felt the character progression was, and the people that they meet. And then from there we can get into deep spoilers because we can talk about um it'll be little bit mild
It's
spoilers.
gonna
Oh,
sprinkle,
just
little
sprinkle,
sprinkle.
yeah. Like we'll be like we'll talk about characters basically, and you'll be like, oh, I didn't. You'll find out like, oh yeah, that character's in there. Oh, I didn't know that. Like that's pretty cool to have that they talked about that character.
Shit, I forgot
Uh,
most of their names. I'm really bad at names in the movie.
Oh, it's okay. We've got YouTube. We've got the internet to help us out.
The
I can
internet.
Google some stuff. Um, basically cast. Uh,
Wait,
where
how'd you
is it
feel
at?
about his friend? Ah,
Oh, okay. So
God, I forgot her name.
let's kind of just point out the people that are there. There's uh Shang-Chi, who's the main protagonist. Her friend,
Sean.
Katie, her real name is Aquafina, which is amazing. That's absolutely amazing. They did her dirty naming after a water bottle, but and then
This
there's
one.
the father who we all know because he is who we should know from if you haven't seen the trailers. The trailers they show that he's the father of Shang-Chi. And then there's a few other characters in there. Let me think. I'm thinking about any throwbacks that they have in there. Well, I'm not gonna put it on the screen yet because I don't want to spoil it for everybody else. But you can easily just Google this. But yeah, it's you get to find out who the father really is, especially in the DC universe, which DC Marvel
What?
universe.
Cut
Oh
that.
no! Oh no! People are gonna be triggered in the comments.
I think it's because you were talking about Batman while the movie finished.
Shit. That's embarrassing. I'm gonna tell my PR to tell me to prepare my speech for the lashing I'm about to get. I'm probably gonna be canceled after this. So when you asked me about Katie, um, I am on a 1 to 10, she's a 4. Looks wise,
That's so.
personality. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's a 4. I don't hate her, but I also don't like her, and I'm not like disliking her because a lot of movies have these main characters, and then the side characters are a little bit annoying, or they don't really contribute much or whatnot, or they're just there to be there for comic relief. And she is there for comic relief, but she's
Oh
not there
yeah.
too much.
Uh,
When she's there, you notice, but screen time wise, sh- not there too. In the beginning, it is heavy, and then it dies down as the movie progresses, which I like a lot. Like unlike this is a total diss, but unlike what Star Wars did to oh damn it, what's his name?
oh.
Oh no, oh no.
Are you talking
Uh,
about the Klingon?
no, Star Wars, buddy, Star Wars is he's a
No, yeah, because you're the one talking about DC when
Finn.
we're over here.
Finn. Star Wars made Finn's character as the movies progressed much more insignificant, and he started to fade out.
They didn't even bother with the third one, so I couldn't even. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't watched that one yet? Oh, mate, we gotta have a rant video one of these days. I'm gonna rant
Bro,
about
I can
Jurassic
have a
Park.
rant about the fucking. What
We
was
we're gonna
this?
rant.
What
We're gonna
was
rant
not
so hard.
J.J. Abrams one, but
The
like
second and the
the
third one, or the new ones.
no, just the second one. That one
You,
was
I need you to watch the third one, and I'm gonna watch Jurassic World 2 because I hate that movie, and I'm gonna love
Jurassic
that.
World
But
2.
anyways, let's not get
What?
into that. Let's get back to what we're here
We should
for.
have just made it a movie discussion.
Oh, just gonna get triggered.
Change the title right now.
uh,
Editor, hello?
yeah. But yeah, Aquafina she's a 4. She's heavy in the beginning, but she just dims down. She does come back near the end. I don't know how I feel about it, but I felt like they wrote them in a position where they had no other choice but to do that. What do you think about Aquafina? I don't want to call her
I
by Katie
mean,
anymore.
we've seen other instances where side characters have were done really, really well. Me personally, I think Michael B. Jordan's character in Black Panther was done really, really well. Andy Serkis's character is done really well. You've done Bucky and the Winter Soldier. His was doing really well. You can have side characters that can do really, really well, and I think they didn't do that for this movie. I would probably rate her pretty low too because a lot of the time she was there for comedic relief, but a lot of times too they kept falling back to her for comedic relief. It got to the point where it was almost annoying. But I did like her character progression, but just I don't know. She just seemed a little too much Aquafina.
We should
But
have made a we're gonna make a tier list. We're gonna make a tier list. We're
oh,
definitely gonna make a
Rekindle.
tier. Yeah.
Rekindle did that during his stream the other day for Modern Warfare Guns. I forgot the name of the website, but you can like look up a topic and then it'll give you pictures of all the whatever the fuck you're looking into, and then you can tear it out.
I'm already on the page.
Nice. Okay.
I'm gonna we're gonna have to upload video make the template and then upload pictures of the
Or you could just share that screen.
we would have to no like I have to look upload we'd have the pictures already uploaded like people's like
Oh,
the
but the
site
one
characters
that
we want to review.
that's what
Oh,
like the
like
one that I was talking about. You just look the topic up and it gives you the pictures.
yeah, yeah, but it doesn't give you all the pictures though. Like I'm specifically looking up Marvel um
Tier
side
list,
characters.
Marvel side character tier list. All right, for sure.
I'm gonna see if it comes up, but
Hmm.
it doesn't all the Marvel we released. It's not that's like too specific is what I'm trying to tell you. Like that's too specific.
Man,
I mean, I haven't really used this either, so I'll probably be messing with this.
maybe we could just always tag it on later. Like
Yeah.
this is what we were talking about.
Oh, I would love to do something like that though.
Oh yeah,
But her, I don't see her in the same light as Bucky and all the other side characters because I feel like those side characters are a little like Ned would be a side character to me to
okay, true.
to Spider-Man. Like that, like I feel like she's in that category. And Ned was a really good character too. Like I liked his character a lot. Like I think he would be one of the ones up
Yeah,
there. Um and
the
and,
porn
and
thing
Ant-Man had a side character, that little guy, but even then Ant-Man didn't really have he was solo a lot. So
until he had. Oh,
and I think it's this movie's so new to everybody. Like this character's so new. Like everybody's still like, we don't know what their role is gonna be, and I feel like most side characters now are having more potential to be up there because like Iron Man, um, the Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting every character in these movies, man. Warhammer. Did I say that right? No. No, I
War
didn't.
Machine.
War Machine. War Machine. God damn it. I'm so bad at this. I'm
Oh,
notorious for
dude.
that. Oh,
Wait a minute.
Jesus Christ.
And like the
War
only reason
Machine.
I
Side character.
personally said I well compared her to them was because the amount of time she was on the screen. Because
See,
she was on there for a long fucking time.
I guess, yeah, yeah, but Bucky was had his own movie, even though he was a side character. Uh, the side character for that would be the Falcon. And now
True.
he's becoming his own hero. Like that. That's why I'm wondering if they're gonna do that the same thing with her to make her
I'm
more important.
not familiar with her if she is somebody from the comics or just somebody they created for the movie.
Yeah,
I
because
wish I would have
we
done more
I
more
don't.
research for Beth, but
Yeah,
I
both
did
of us
have an
don't know.
Imagine Dragons listening party this morning. So fuck off.
That's respectable. So with her character, like I think there might be potential, and I look forward to it. And
Hey,
I
it might
think
be
he
like a
does.
Jane Foster kind of deal where she was like one of those characters, and in the next Thor movie, she's gonna be Lady Thor.
Yeah,
Who
which is
knows?
kind of
So
wild. And
I'm crazy.
Marvel can just do that. We'll see how they execute that because she really hasn't been in the movies, and then I know her she's back, and she's a boss bitch.
Uh, in the
From
comics, she was dealing with cancer, and the Hammers would save her, I believe, or something like that. And that's how she
Alright.
took over. Well, Thor lost his position because Nick Fury had whispered something into his ear, and he kind of lost worthiness or something. And the Thor found it. this hammer found itself to Jane. That was like
Okay.
pretty fucking crazy, and it took a while to find out what the fuck Nick Fury had whispered in his ear. I can't even remember, but just like that's the route that James Gunn's is taking. Not James Gunn, Taika's taken for I think the next Thor movie, and then going to see God Bomb Christian Bale. Like, God, I'm fucking excited for that,
Okay.
but that's not this topic. Sorry, hold on.
You're
I
good.
was I'm fangirling a little bit. I went too deep.
Yeah. Oh, I can see you're getting a little hard excited there. All right, so let's talk about should we spoil a little bit about the other characters or well,
Hey, it's been about 30
let's
minutes. How about we just drop the 30-minute mark? Spoilers from this point on.
let's just a few more things.
Okay.
Just a few more things. Let's talk about the progression of the movie. Oh my God. I just looked at something too. I thought, oh, okay, there's a pretty. I just realized that they brought this guy. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the cast list, and I was like, that guy looks familiar. That's not him, is he? And I'm confirmed that that was him.
What?
Let's just say the one of the Hulk movies is in this timeline as well.
What?
There was a fight scene. It was a really cool fight scene, and the character gets introduced that we know is in the universe.
Oh yeah, it's in the commercials too. You can talk about it. It's already been confirmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Abomination. People knew Abomination was in the movie.
I didn't know that. I thought that was
It's in the
amazing.
trailer. It's
I
in
didn't.
the trailer.
I don't. I guess I didn't.
The thing
You know
was, the
what?
person he was fighting is the part people were trying to find out. That's what
Ah,
we know.
that was cool. That was really cool. So something in
And
the
if
movie that
you've
was
seen the spoilers and the person who's fighting, yes, you're right.
so I guess it's a good time to talk about the progression. Uh, the movie was. I liked the pacing. It was really good. It was really good. It felt long because I was like, damn,
Yeah.
this movie showed us a lot, but it's not really that long of a movie. Like it showed us what's the runtime on
Wait,
this bad boy?
we got in at 9 and we got out like at 11:40,
Oh,
didn't
it's a
we?
2 hour movie.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. It has to
Yeah.
do that. Okay, it makes sense. It was for what for the length of it, it made sense. It was good. It didn't feel that long, man. It was the pacing it should be.
The pacing felt a little rushed to me. Because I mean,
Just
at the beginning of the movie, you find out, well, you meet Sean, you meet Katie, and then out of nowhere, you're dropped into his world. And then, I mean, the movie starts out with his dad, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then it
yeah,
goes into Sean, and then Sean just gets dropped into his back into his world, and then you're just like, what the fuck happened? And then like all those things hit you fast, but like the way they did it, like it's like it wasn't a hard thing to grasp.
yeah. Very simple. They took their time, like not their. They
They
explained the
threw it in your face, but then they came back and thoroughly explained it.
yeah.
That's how I see it.
Which was really good to set up a new character when we're already so deep into a universe.
Oh yeah,
And
he's
there's
got
so
shoes to
much they
fill.
can go in. There's so much that they can do too after this. There's so many questions I still have. But as they progress into the movie, one thing I didn't like about the trailer is seeing because you see like these monsters in the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, what are they gonna do here and all that stuff. So I was like, ooh, the trailer had a lot, and I felt like it was gonna be too much for a movie. So it did pretty good with it did good managing everything that they showed in trailers and here, because a lot of stuff in the trailers it was in the beginning of the movie,
Mhm.
and I love that. I love that. Just give me an idea of what's gonna happen in the beginning. People speculate all this stuff, and then we get into the real stuff near the end and all the good stuff, the stuff that actually matters. Because this movie is very story driven as well, and I understood it too. Oh, by the way, everybody, subtitles. They're talking, and you need to read the subtitles. There's barely any English in the beginning of the movie. Like what, the first 10 minutes, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like caught off guard. Gina next to me, she's like, "Is this movie in English?" And I was like, "I honestly did not know." So I thought that was really cool that they did that. Like people weren't expecting that at all. I think I'm 100% sure no one was expecting that. and I like that they did that. It made the movie feel real, a little more authentic to what they were doing. Because I mean, I didn't understand shit. I just read everything, and
Oh yeah.
I
I
think that
mean, me
kind of helped
personally,
with
like
the.
I just enjoy movies with subtitles because sometimes I just prefer to read. I don't
Oh yeah, if they could always have subtitles, I would do that too. Um, what else? What do you think about the villain of the movie? And should we say who he really is in the movie? His name?
Again, not being familiar with Shang-Chi's background in the comics, I don't know. I wish I would have known. But
Okay.
if I had to talk about his dad or the villain, sorry, oops. What? I would say it was a very ignorant character, and I didn't know how I feel about that.
Did
For
you
him
like him?
to have lived thousands of years or however long he lived, and to be that ignorant, I liked them for maybe his capabilities, but he is a little empty in the little wecko in the head.
Yeah. But did you like the villain that they had for this movie, or for I guess against Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi? My bad.
Let's just say yes for now.
Okay. I definitely liked them. I was surprised too because you're right. You're right. Like you've been living for because something about the I guess the rings, which we don't know much about. We just know lore so far. Is it the I guess the rings can help you be immortal. If I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get killed, but if you know how to fight, or I mean, no one's gonna kill you. Uh,
And
but
some will.
yeah, no body, no person is gonna kill you.
Captain
But
Marvel. Rip his arms
okay,
off.
all right. Well, that'd be interesting to see now, huh? See what other villains they come up with. Because it does set up more. Because I mean, he fights an equal with his skill level, sort of. I would say the dad is significantly stronger. Probably should have been a little more tougher. I would have liked to see him a little more too. They show him a little less, and I like his story arc a little bit. Even though you're right, I didn't catch that. Honestly, I didn't catch like I've been living so long because he's he's bad. Something happens. He's good. Something happens again, and he goes back to his bad habits and bad old ways. And I thought like I really I liked that. I did because um he's really not a bad guy after all. He was just
Well, he wasn't a bad guy the second half. The first half, he was
yeah.
pretty
Oh
fucking
yeah,
cruel.
first guy. Yeah,
Pretty
he
fucking
was
cruel.
yeah. I guess I'm ignoring the other 1,000 years for the last maybe 20 years. Oh yeah, 1,000 years, no problem. But the 20 years, yeah. But yeah, I was being ignorant to the rest. I was like, I don't care about that. I'm living this life right here, what I'm seeing. But
Jesus Christ.
because well, I don't blame him for what he was doing though, as a what his role was in the movie at in the second that when he became evil again and became a bad guy and what his goal was, like I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing he would have been doing.
Dang, gosh, like you can't dive into that yet until you drop
Yeah.
that spoiler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh
To me, it seemed a little ignorant. I don't
it
know.
yeah, I could see that. But I mean, that is his character. I guess he's always been bad, and then meeting Shang-Chi's mom, I mean, it's kind of it's nice to see something like that, and it's very it's heartwarming to see people like boom just because you can't just go 1,000 years killing people and then not do that. It has to take something special, and then it takes that something special, and then when it's taken away from you, you to revert back into that. Like I just see like if you're gonna be like if you're gonna be a dictator for 1,000 years, for 900 years, you're gonna be a dictator for the other 100 years, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like
Like
some
or a
Jock Wick,
tyrant. Yeah,
John Wick thing,
yeah,
where he was a hitman and then settled down, loses her to whatever disease there was that she had, has the only thing left of her image, loses that to a bunch of thugs, and he goes right back in. just like
Yeah.
that, just like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But maybe not as crazy.
Yeah. So
Because
that's that. I mean, they're basically the same. You're right about that. You're pretty much. So John Wick is the same as the villain in the movie. Who would have thought? And what else? I think that's what we can talk about without spoiling too much. And then we can go into medium spoilers, and then we just go full on spoilers. So
medium
maybe
spoilers. What?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I can do here to write down. I'm gonna see if I can put a text in here to be like, "Hey, we got spoilers coming in."
I'm sure I put that in the description. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoilers. I'm gonna do it in red font real quick. It's like literally in the middle of my. Okay, so I got spoilers up there now on my thing. You won't see it on yours, but that's not fair. Hey, can I do that on the Discord? Add like a little text? No? Okay.
Oh,
It is
okay.
what it
I
is.
see, man.
Alright.
Hey, it should be fun, right?
This is for the sake of oh my god. All right. So let's go a little more deep into it. Um, one thing I saw in the trailers that I want to call back into is now way that we've just established the spoiler zone is the monsters we see, and I'm like, damn, dude, what are they gonna put in this planet? Like, Earth is too small already, and we've got a bunch of dragons and shit, and lions, and who knows what else. Turns out they're in another dimension, and that's cool to me. That is cool that they made that like that they didn't just make more stuff hidden in the world. Like all right, we've already got Wakanda. Don't tell
Oh,
me
like
there's
some kind
other.
of Hollow Earth
Yeah,
kind
like
of thing.
come on. Oh yeah, Hollow Earth. I would hate that. Like I don't want to see that, man. But I love that there's. I don't know if like again, we don't know anything about the comics for this movie, this um, hero particularly, but the fact that there's another dimension they go through, and you can see the transition and all that stuff. That was cool because it made me realize that oh my god, they're in the Marvel universe, not just on Earth. Like that when that happened, I was like, okay, wow, that is amazing.
So what Kevin's talking about, now that we're kind of in the spoiler section, Shang-Chi's mom, I forgot her name. I don't know if you could pull that up, but she is from a mystical land called Tao Lao, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Uh, we're just gonna call her Shang-Chi's mom because I can't pronounce her. Li Leiku Wu.
Is that the
Mi-
actress's name or his mom's name?
That's the mom's name.
Because I can't remember in the movie what how they pronounce that. But again, yeah, she is a part of. Well, her residence is in another parallel dimension. I believe that is what her aunt, well, their auntie described it as, because she did pass away in the film, and the second half of the movie kind of deals with her sister, right? Aunt,
Yeah.
sister, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's the one that kind of lets them know a little bit more in the background once they gain access to Tao Lao, which I hope is the name of the place, something like that. And yeah, once they gained access to it, because it's only accessible. What did that little fuzzy thing say? Like once a year at a very
Once
specific
a
time.
year, but there's also a pocket you can go through, and that little creature was able to guide him.
Right.
Yeah. And
Oh, what was his
the
name?
dad.
William Wilson or something?
Oh, I have no idea what that little fucking thing was.
That thing was fucking
But
hilarious.
so there's a few other characters in there. We can talk about all the characters. The real Mandarin and the fake Mandarin are in there, which is really cool to me. I like seeing that. And that's one of the things I don't like the third Iron Man. Abomination is in there, which was really cool, and also Wong. Seeing Wong there was just, I'm like ah. And the more as the movie progresses from like being in I don't know where the hell they were, San Francisco I think maybe
Yeah.
yeah, San
Yeah,
Francisco
you see the train
to
carts. It's pretty sure it's
to
San Francisco,
the
right?
to in the fighting in the for fighting there, and then fighting in somewhere in China, I believe.
I think it was in Hong
Because and
Kong, right?
he yeah, and he meets his sister, who we didn't know was a thing. It's not a big spoiler. It's not a big surprise, but she actually is pretty cool too. Like I feel like she's gonna have a big role too. Like feel like that's like um his Bucky. Like that's another big,
Mm-hmm.
not a side character, but another a B character. There's the or an a A tier character. There's the S tier ranks like Shang-Chi, and then there's the A tier, and then
Words
there's
are hard.
the supporting roles.
There you go.
Um,
Okay.
but I like seeing Wong. I like seeing that fight scene. I like seeing that like that like and you don't know a lot about her at the same time. It's like we know a lot about Shang-Chi. We know nothing about her because Shang-Chi you can see that he has moral dilemma. Basically in the movie what happens is like she's younger. She's about 6 years younger maybe? No. No.
Something like
Four
that.
year 4 years younger? She's younger than him. Like
Yeah.
four like 2 to 5 years younger than him. Two to four. Let's put it that way. Um, he trains his so the mom dies, gets killed. She gets we're gonna spoil on all completely. She gets killed by people that got their lives ruined by the Mandarin, which is Shang-Chi's father, because he was a tyrant in the past. So his past comes to haunt him, and the mom dies, and Shang-Chi is there, and they witness the mom die, and his father goes he's like he should not have been weak. He should have never given up because they both give up their powers. The Mandarin gives up his life to be a good person, and the Shang-Chi's mom, uh, Miss Wu, she gives up the village that she was guarding because that's the whole purpose of the movie. The Ten Rings. Oh, there's just so much we can go into now. There's so much. There's so much now. We've got free room.
We
Uh,
can rump and play.
and we gotta do this. Like, we gotta just go through it. So
Oh yeah, you gotta
And
go.
you just stop me whenever you want, or we're gonna do a two-part for this, or we'll just or we can do cuts. I'll wear the same goddamn shirt if I have to. So if we get cut off, you'll know. Because I just got told sidebar. Esme just called me. She's like, "Hey, can you take Marco to the airport at 7 o'clock?" So
Oh, is he leaving?
yeah, he's leaving today. So I'll drop him off.
He comes
I'm okay
back.
if I'm a little late from. He comes back in like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and he watched the movie with us too. Um, So we can I won't rush it, but let's go ahead and talk about like what happens in the movie. Just explain to people like the establishments that happen and kind of like all the plots. Now we're talking about plot now.
All
Like
right. You
what's the
want to?
goal? Yeah, let's just
Okay.
fucking tell them.
All right. I guess in the
Ted
beginning of the
Bandish.
film, it starts off again with his dad, and that's kind of where I was kind of hoping we'd kind of get a description of what the rings were, or the bracelets, whatever you call it. But even in this translation, they say that he may have found it in a crater or in a cave somewhere we don't know. So even the movie's like not very specific to what the rings are, what the power is behind them. It's not understand. Like there's no understanding behind it rather.
And
And
these rings are fucking cool.
yeah, oh my
I thought they
god,
were
what the
cool.
fuck? They do incredible fucking things and keep the
Yeah.
person practically immortal.
Yeah.
And again, so being that he was alive for over 1,000 years, he was only trying to become more powerful. So he heard of a land where there was a source of power that he was trying to obtain to kind of help push his rule, essentially like another Genghis Khan. And his attempt to reach that village is where he meets his mom, where she was a guard of the village. And from there, I guess love struck, and they went and had settled, had 2 kids, and from there on, he pretty much put the rings away. And she left the village and thus losing her powers. And she stayed with them till pretty much the rest of her life. As Kevin had mentioned, they were ambushed by some thugs while he was in home, and him not having his ring. They were essentially powerless, so she was overwhelmed, and honestly, at that point of the movie, I kind of dozed off and I didn't see how she died or
Oh,
whatever.
I was all in, baby.
I didn't
Well,
see that part. The
they
last
don't.
thing I remember seeing was the group of guys, and then the next thing I remember seeing was him and his dad like going back for revenge. So there was a lapse in my mind where I kind of just skipped because I was like pretty tired. Well, going to watch it. So I don't know if you want to fill me in on that part. I missed that part for sure.
So there's not much there because they don't show her fighting at all.
Okay.
It kind of just alludes to what's going on, and then the dad gets there, and all the bodies are dead, and he trains as a kid, and it turns out that because he lied, you see a little bit of his character, like because there are two parts in the movie they're very small, but very significant to who has his more on this character. There's three. The last one's not as subtle. First one, uh, he has a mission. He gets trained. His mission is to go and kill the person that killed his mother. They find out who killed the mother. The Mandarin sends Shang-Chi to go kill the murderer of his mother, and he never returns home. His story, he tells his best friend that's been his best friend for most of their life now, well, half of his life, Aquafina, that he never did fulfill the mission of killing the person that killed his mother. But in reality, he did. So that was a lie. Another thing that comes up is he fight. So when they run away to find his sister because they have to go to China to go warn his sister that his dad's after him too. Uh, but instead of being as bad as it is, which it was pretty bad, it was more of a family reunion. But they get into it. They start fighting out there in that little the empire that the sister has, and let me get my thoughts together real quick. Uh, he has a point to kill somebody that that kind of abused him while he was training, and he was gonna go through with it, but his father stops him with the 10 rings, the Mandarin. So
That's what I like about his character too, that he doesn't have that moral dilemma. I love
yeah,
that.
I was like,
He's
oh
he's willing to do what he has to do, and some of these other characters don't have that
yeah.
capability.
And even at the end of the movie, like near the end of the movie, he says like, if I have to, I'm gonna do. This is what how I was raised, and which makes sense. Like you can't just be a normal person after being 16 years of your life. Well, not 16 years of your life.
He was like
After your mom dies, you're
14.
trained and you're raised because you just see your mom die and you're being trained to kill now, and of course you want revenge. Like that's what you want to be. It's big. There's a dilemma because his mom was amazing and even changed a Genghis Khan to be a man of peace. So like there's power. There's a lot of power in that too. So there is no more dilemma, but there should be, and it comes in. It does it perfect. It does it just in a good tone to me. I love how it's like because he says like I'm gonna have to kill my dad. That's the only way to stop him, even though his dad isn't really in the wrong because uh mom dies and his goal is to and he and the girl leaves because eventually the daughter runs away and she runs her own empire. She runs away like 6 years later, makes her own empire and all that stuff. She does her own life, which we'd know little about. We'd know little information about the sister. Sister, what's her name? What's her name?
Mm-mm.
Holy sh! Why isn't she on the cast list?
That's dumb.
Oh,
She
maybe
was
maybe maybe she is. Maybe she is. Oh, she's Shailene. I think she's
Shelley.
Shailene. Yeah, she's Shailene. Her name is Shailene. Her sister's name is Shailene. Um, we
Can't
still don't know
remember.
much about her. What was I going at? Damn. But she's still amazing fighter. She was by herself the whole time. Who
And she
knows?
was actually self-taught because I guess in that side they weren't teaching women how to fight. So she would
Yeah.
study how her brother and how the other people in the place where the 10 ring army was held would train, and she would train on her own, and it would actually perform better than the people who were actually trained.